Hi everyone, this video will be a quick one. I have recently been watching Andor. I heard online that it is the Game of Thrones of Star Wars. And I can't deny saying that it is actually on par with Game of Thrones in terms of quality. But unlike Game of Thrones, it does not fumble up its ending. At least that is what I have heard so far. In my opinion, it is a perfect Star Wars show. Now, why exactly do I say that? It is very unusual for me to make a statement like that. For me to even consider something as goated, it has to be perfect from the beginning till the end. So far, of what I've watched of Andor, it is almost flawless. For me, in the beginning, there were some slow moments, but all of the show's slow sections pay off at the end. Andor is far from a typical Star Wars story. Sure, we have the good guys on one side and the bad guys on another side, but it is not simply a story about either good guys or bad guys. First and foremost, Andor explores the complexity of human nature. It takes the approach of showing us the lives of very deep and rich characters. It shows us their motivations and relationships and helps us connect with them. Each of the characters in this show is very well written. Even the dialogue is very impressive by Star Wars standards. There are some dialogue scenes in this show that were so well written, I was amazed by them. It doesn't even feel like you're watching a Star Wars show, and that is for the better. Star Wars needed this kind of evolution. The character that shines the most for me is Cassian Andor, the main character. From the beginning, when he is introduced in the first scene, you can feel that Cassian is far from your typical main protagonist. He is a very daring and bold character who is willing to do anything for the cause that he believes in. He is a person who would sacrifice anything to achieve his goals. No matter what kind of situation he finds himself in, you can't help but root for him. The show does a really good job of making you care for him. In some scenes, you feel scared that he's gonna die, but then when he survives, you feel a great sense of relief. He isn't a Jedi like Luke or Anakin. He doesn't have any powers. He is just a normal guy. And that is what makes us care for him and relate with him more than any of the other Star Wars heroes. Sure, he makes some morally great decisions, but most of the time you can't help but agree with him. He is part of the rebellion who is up against the Empire. Sometimes such decisions have to be made for the greater good. There is a lot to unpack when it comes to this show. But with this particular video, I wanna highlight the things that I really enjoyed about this show. And the reason for that is I have very little gripes with this show. I can hardly recall anything that I didn't like. Everything from the writing to the acting and the set designs are really well done in this show. The CGI is seamless, the cinematography is also peak. And again, for me, the characters are the strong point of this show. I really enjoy a story with well-written characters, and Andor excels at just that. Every character is interesting in the story. Cassian is a great main protagonist who is very nuanced. I like the dynamic between him and Luthen. At times, Cassian can be a selfish character, but he grows throughout the whole series, especially when you take into account the Rogue One movie. He learns to care more when he officially joins the rebellion. He works with Luthen to prevent the Empire from carrying out their heinous atrocities across the galaxy. In some or almost all missions, things don't turn out as well as expected, and this is part of the strength of this show. It is realistic and relatable to how things happen in the real world. The plotline with Dedra Meero is also quite engaging. I immensely enjoyed her scenes with Partagaz. Again, the dialogue is so well done here. Dedra Meero is working for the ISB and investigating rebel activities throughout the galaxy to put a stop to them. The actor playing her did a great job to make me hate her. Kudos to you, lady. You can just feel the pretentiousness oozing out with her mannerisms and expressions. She is willing to do anything for the Empire as long as she gets appreciated or promoted for it. I would say she is probably the most realistic of all the characters in the shows, because I see some of the female teachers I've had in my life in her. They had the same nonchalant expression on their face and spoke very bluntly and strictly. I would say Dedra Meero is not as bad as them. I actually was starting to really like her at some point. but things quickly went way down. And then we have Tyrell Karn, who is a very unique kind of character. He is like a well pampered up boy who wants to uphold the rules at all costs. He is so confident about the Empire that he is willing to sacrifice himself if things come to it. Him and Dedra Miro were actually a match made in heaven, if you ask me. It was no wonder that they ended up together. Moving on, Cyril is arguably one of the best Star Wars character, period. He's the kind of guy who is absolutely sure that he is on the right side, the kind of guy who is stubborn in his ideals. He is also obsessed with catching Andor. I do appreciate this show's approach to exploring complex themes in such a mature way. Topics that a few years ago I would never have expected are explored in a Star Wars show. It's quite baffling actually, and awesome to see. I love the direction where Star Wars is now going. I would like to see more shows like this. Let us hope Disney continues making them. Andor really captures the essence of Star Wars while also doing its own grounded and mature take on it. The strength of Andor lies in its complex characters. This kind of impeccable writing in a Star Wars show really surprises me even now. At times it feels like you're watching an HBO show like The Sopranos or even Game of Thrones. Characters in this show talk like actual adults, instead of talking like 12-year-olds like in Ahsoka. I don't want to piss people off, but personally, I think the dialogue here is leagues ahead and even better than the Star Wars prequels or even the original trilogy. There are moments and story beats in this show that reminded me of the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones. Yes, it is that good. The last few episodes broke me more than once. Some episodes left me jaw dropped and others left me feeling hollow. I like the fact that there are absolute zero references to the Force so far. Another great aspect of this show is that there are absolutely no cameos from characters that are usually in these kinds of shows to nostalgia bait people into watching them. The reason why Andor is a must watch is because of its originality and impeccable character work and writing. The show is really well casted, with all the actors giving their best performances. So, if you haven't yet watched Andor, I urge you to shut everything down and to go watch it right away. Trust me, you won't regret it. This is truly a momentous occasion for Star Wars fans and also for people who enjoy good television. I am so glad that this show got made. Speaking of which, we have been having some really great TV shows to watch this year. If you have any recommendations that I could check out to review, go ahead and mention them in the comments below. Before I end this video, I want to say that Andor is fantastic and should be even more hyped because it is actually that good. Thank you so much for watching. Go and check out my other videos. I also made another video about Star Wars prequels a couple of days back. Like and subscribe for more videos like these. And see you soon.